Hello everyone, welcome to Savas Games FTB Endeavour Episode 4. If you are watching this, please know that you are loved and welcome. Guys, I'm excited to get into this. We're finally getting some fun modded things that we're going to play with in this episode. Got some food cooking here, but this meat is going to run out pretty quickly, and I don't want to keep running out to hunt animals. Let's see how our farm is doing. Okay, so I want to show you here on the tooltip. You see on the tooltip there, at the top of the screen, it says these are potatoes, and then it tells me growth with a number in yellow, right? So this one is 14%, that's barely grown, 85%. So Minecraft already sort of shows you this visually, but the tooltip here in modded Minecraft is going to give us a little more information. We're going to right-click on these. That lets us harvest without having to knock down and replant the plant. All right, couple potatoes. Tomatoes. I have no idea what we can do with tomatoes, but we got the seeds, so we might as well keep growing them here. Cabbage seeds, got a few more. Thank you. There's our onions, 85%. Got a little bit of wheat. Okay. Honestly, the most helpful thing here that I'm excited about right now is the potatoes, so that we can get some baked potatoes going. Nice early game food. Thank you. But it's, a lot of these things are going to be useful, especially the hemp we talked about before is a nice substitute for string. Our head collection has been expanded here a little bit. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. Meat is cooked. Pop some potatoes in. They're looking good. Don't need any of this. Alright, so let's get into this. We've got some power here, and what we'd like to do with this power is start processing our ore a lot better than just in a furnace right here. So we want to make a few devices. I want to get into Mekanism for this. So again, and JEI, we're just going to do @MEK to get into Mekanism. And we've got all kinds of things in this mod. It's kind of overwhelming. It's lots of fluids that get added. We see the bucket versions of those fluids. There's equipment. There is lots and lots of different machines, and that is where we're going to be starting. Okay, so in Mekanism, we are going to want to make a Smeltery. What do they call it? Energized Smelter, and or then when you upgrade it later, they call it a smelting factory. So for an Energized Smelter, this is going to allow us to process our ores a little differently. So if we look in here, we're going to need a steel casing. So Mekanism is the first mod that's going to get us into steel. We're also going to need these, which we'll get into as well. So for steel, we're going to need to be able to create that. It is not something that we can mine. It is a what do you call it, an alloy, right? So it needs to have some things combined to make steel. So we click on this. How do we get steel? Let's look. There's different ways. Pretty much all these ways, though, are going to be, except for immersive engineering, are going to be working with this steel grit. So let's see how we go about getting steel grit in Mekanism. Energized Smelter. There's our steel grit, so we get that. And then we see that we can get that from a crusher in Mekanism, or if we already had some steel, but most commonly we're going to be getting it from a metallurgic infuser. Okay, so a metallurgic infuser takes a substance, in this case where you're going to be using coal to make steel grit, and then it melts it down. So this tank over here is a liquid tank, so it takes the coal, melts it right here in the metallurgic infuser into liquid, and then infuses that liquid onto another substance, in this case enriched iron, to make the steel grit. Now how do we get enriched iron? Let's click on that one, and we can see it's actually exactly the same way. We're going to infuse it in a metallurgic infuser with carbon coming from coal or charcoal, but this time we start with iron ingots, which we already have a few of. Let's pick those up real quick. Okay, so we're going to need some iron, we're going to need some osmium, we're going to need some redstone and some coal for this project, and let's get crafting. So, can we make a metallurgic infuser yet? We're going to need some furnaces, not a problem, 2 furnaces, and I think we have everything else. And you can see that when I hover this, it doesn't give us any red blocks there, so we know we have it all. So there we go. There's a metallurgic infuser. Now how does this work? It's going to need power, right? So if we just right-click it here, we see it has no FE. right now, or no RF. I'm going to use those terms interchangeably. Remember, they mean the same thing because they convert to each other. So we've got to get some RF in this. So we're going to use one of our two generators here. Remember, we had the heat generator, which we're not going to use yet because that is a really inefficient use of coal, and we've got the Stirling Dynamo. So if we take this and pop it in front of the Stirling Dynamo, this red part is where the power is output there, and put some of our coal in here, and we can see it starts burning the coal, but nothing is going into the internal buffer here because it's all going into our Metallurgic Infuser. Okay, so I'm not going to keep it here, but let's go ahead and just make our a little bit of steel right now to start us off. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. You can see those aren't even there because it melted them immediately. Got the millibuckets of coal there. Put a few more in. One of the tricks you'll see me do is I wheel mouse here, and it just pops things in. We can show you in the chest. So if I wheel mouse once, a bunch of times, it just starts popping things between them. I can up or down wheel mouse there, so you'll see me use that trick. I apologize, I don't know what my pad's at, but it's super helpful. Okay, so we've got some coal in here. We're going to pop some iron in. I think it's 1 to 1 of 10 millibuckets of coal to 1 iron. So if we put, every time 1 iron gets used here, then it becomes our enriched iron, and we can see millibuckets of carbon goes back down to 80 millibuckets. Sorry, I said coal, but it's carbon technically once it becomes liquid form here. All right, so we're getting our enriched iron there. You can see here where it shows the process happening. We can actually click here to show recipes, and this tells us all about the different things that can happen in the Metallurgic Infuser. We're going to be using a lot of Metallurgic Infusers in Mekanism. Okay, so I think I want 4 if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what our next thing is here. Actually, while that's cooking, let's work on our area because we're going to want a little more space back here for these machines. So let's clean this up a little bit. I think I will bring it back a few blocks right here. Okay. And we're going to want power in the back. So let's let this finish with the ones that we popped in there for our example. And you know, in the meantime, we're going to want to very quickly get out of putting straight coal in here because they have a device called an Enrichment Chamber right here, which we can right click on that. It shows us the things it can do. And this is going to take our coal and turn it into these little plates called Enriched Carbon. And the Enriched Carbon gives us 80 millibuckets right in here for each piece, as opposed to a piece of coal. One piece of coal, I'm not going to demonstrate because I think we'll waste it here, but that'll give us only 10 millibuckets, right? And so you basically multiply your enrichment fluid by 8 by using that enrichment chamber. So, infusing fluid, I should say. Let's take a look here. Let's pop that there. And we are also going to need some cables to work with this. Do we have an enrichment chamber yet? How much steel are we going to need to make this? We're going to need some control circuits before anything else. So I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's make another Metallurgic Infuser, because I'd really like to have one for both redstone and carbon to begin with here. Okay, so we've got our 2 Metallurgic Infusers. One of those right in front. And I think these are going to end up being up here because we're going to get cable shorter than later. So let's go ahead and make some cable. So cable is going to be something that's added by lots of different mods. You can see that there's cables from Applied Energistics here, among other things. There's also some from Powa. What else do we have? Simple Storage Network. We're going to use the ones in Mekanism to begin with here, though. And there's different cables. Actually, in Mekanism, the term cable only refers to power ducts, but we've also got other types of sort of ducts or ways of transporting things besides power, right? So there's the basic universal cables we're going to make now, mechanical pipes, and you can see we upgrade each version of these, so the different colors are just upgraded, faster versions of them, higher capacity versions. So mechanical pipe is going to transmit liquid. We can see by, not Shift N. Where is it? Command N. No, just Shift. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so then we've got the pressurized tubes for gases, logistical transporters to transport items between places, and thermodynamic conductors to transport heat, which may be unique to Mekanism. I'm not that familiar with heat yet. Okay, so getting into these, we're going to need some universal cables to transmit our power from the generators to the machines. So these are pretty simple, but we do need some steel. We're not in the crafting grid? Why is it not letting me craft this? We made some steel, didn't we? Where did the steel go? Guys? Oh, there it is, enriched iron. We didn't actually make the steel yet. We made enriched iron. Okay, so let's pop 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to need power, so let's bring this guy up here. No cables yet. That. And you can see I have to kind of place it against there to go make it go the right direction there. Luckily, it maintained its buffer. But he doesn't want to give power? Why aren't we giving power there? Interesting. Output 0%. Pop some coal in here? Okay, now he's powering him. Interesting. So there's like a visual buffer here that has been, or no, it did output it now that I put fuel in there. So, okay, we're good. Getting us some steel grit, which we will then pop in our furnace here to make some steel ingots. Okay, guys, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We've got some machines building up here. Enrichment Chamber is going to take lots of steel, so we're going to need to get our steel production going much better. I'm tired of listening to this guy up on the roof here. Where did he go? Did he die there? Ah! Oh man, what was that creeper? He looked like he was enchanted by something. Oh, jeez, guys. Nighttime is dangerous, what can I say? Alright, how's our steel doing here? Why did we only get 3? One more grit. Get in there before the coal ends up finishes burning. Okay, we're ready to make just a couple cables, but that's all we need to start with here. It's really slow going early on, but that is all we need. Just a couple cables. Move this guy back, and we'll be able to hook all of these machines up to power. Cable, cable. All right, we're going to be putting a couple more here, so let's keep some space. All right. Got the rest of our steel there. Okay, so let's see. We're going to want to get an enrichment chamber as soon as possible, but I think we need more steel than that. So let's get 2 more steel going. Enriched iron. Let's just put a bit in here. It's going to be a waste, but that's fine. At least we've got it to get these things made that we need. All right, this one is going to have redstone in it. Let's just wait until we can refine that redstone, or enrich that redstone, rather, to put it in there. What is this? Are you wearing my head? That's a little creepy, but I'm not mad at it at all. I like it quite a bit, actually. My creeper hole's getting out of control here, guys. Do those swing different directions? Is that the idea with the saloon doors there? They can swing in multiple directions. How are we on dirt? We have no dirt. Okay, so we've got no power left. coal is running out quick. I'm really happy that we're going to be able to enrich it soon. 2 more steel should be enough for us to make a casing. Let's go ahead and use the trick here and add this over to our to make stuff. We'll take the generators off. Enrichment chamber we're going to want, and the energized smelter we're going to want. So I always make that mistake when it's down here. I hit A there. You have to click off of it, then hit A over here, and then it can add. Okay, so here we go. Enrichment chamber and energized smelter. Both of them are going to take these steel casings. So we're going to need some glass. Do you have sand yet? I am getting ahead of myself here, guys. We're going to need sand before we do much else. Okay, so let's pop those in there. How much do we have left in here? 210? I don't need that much steel yet. Okay, we are really low on resources, so let's start off by finding ourselves some sand. Thought we were going to be crafting a bunch, but we're going to need to go do a little bit of exploration. A little bit of exploration. Sand, it looks like, is off in this direction. We don't have a desert yet, but we don't really need one. Let's get just a little bit of sand from the beaches over here. I think it's probably about time that I make myself a shovel. Nice osmium shovel, that's what I've got the most of right now, and that's how I'm crafting things, just because resources are so low at this first stage of the game. It's kind of fun having this sparseness of it though, right? You can only make exactly what you need for the next project. There's something nice about that efficiency in the early game. Alright, sand. We don't need that much sand, but I'm going to need some glass for some machine casings on these. So let's get maybe a stack. How much do we have so far? Yeah, let's get a stack of sand. Causing floods. Okay. We've ruined the scenery on this beach. I'm going to want to fill in those creeper holes too, because I a little bit concerned with concept here. Let's just grab a little bit of dirt for refilling those creeper holes too. This osmium shovel is not going to last long, it looks like, but it's digging fast enough. I'm happy with that. We are going to get into some much better tools soon. My early goal with getting some of this technology going is to be able to get into some better tools for sure. Our RF, by the way, is not going to just power things at our base, but we will pretty quickly be able to put together batteries to be able to power devices that we can carry on us. Alright, that's probably not going to be enough for the creeper hole, but let's get back to the base here. This autumnal forest is just beautiful. That's like my space filler, I know, guys. I just talked about how gorgeous the scenery is, but I just think it is. I still can't get over these piles of pumpkins. They're just everywhere. I don't quite get what this is supposed to be. It's like a tree, but with just a lot of pumpkins at the base. Are they supposed to be giant pumpkins? I'm gonna go with that. I hope they're supposed to be giant pumpkins. That makes me really happy. Okay. Back in a second when this hole is full. Okay guys, back again. You can see I filled this in, but we've got a little bit of an issue here. So this is the dirt that I picked up over there by the sand, and then this is meadow dirt, which it turns out, because I'm in an autumnal valley, I guess, meadow dirt is what we have. So when you break a meadow grass block, what you get is not regular dirt, but meadow dirt. So I didn't have quite enough meadow dirt to fill all this in yet, so I just used regular dirt. We'll see as it grows. I bet the grass will look a bit different. Minor problem, but, you know, I'm definitely going to have to fix that at some point. Modded Minecraft issues. Okay, this looks pretty ugly here, too. Let's see if we can get... Well, let's keep it cobbled. Let's just fill it in. Is that okay? That works. Okay, so we've got some steel. Let's get our sand cooking up. We're going to need plenty of glass for some of these machine casings. Let's see, machine casing, and then the basic control units are going to need some redstone in here, but I think, yeah, to get the enrichment chamber, I'm already going to need a couple of, what, 2 of these? Basic control unit is 1 osmium and 20 redstone, so if we pop 4 redstone in here, 40 millibuckets redstone, 2 osmium. That should get us our control circuits. Did I do the math right there? Alright, glass. We've got 3. One more, thank you. And can we get a machine casing? Machine casing, not for refined storage. Am I using the wrong term here? Mechanism likes steel casing. Steel casing. Okay, so we've got enough for one of those. And the first thing I want is an enrichment chamber. Yes, please. Okay, so let me demonstrate what I mean by the enrichment chamber here. Okay, so for the enrichment chamber, we're going to need to pop coal in here to make carbon, right? And redstone in here to make, I don't know what they call it, liquefied redstone. So we're going to enrich those things first. We'll do 10 coal, or 10 redstone to start with. We are ready to make our next. Do we have the steel for it? I thought I had made 8 steel. Did I not make 8 steel? Let's make 1 more steel. Did I miss an enrichment step or a processing step here? Okay, so you can see we're getting these enriched redstones. They look like little plates, and each one of those can be popped into here. No redstone, empty. 2 of them in there gave us 80 millibuckets. Did I do? Oh no, 1 of them gave us 80 millibuckets, right? So it's 8 times, right? Instead of just 1 millibucket for a piece of redstone, you're getting 8 for a piece of enriched redstone for just a little bit of RF to enrich it in this enrichment chamber. Not a bad deal. Definitely something to get into with Mekanism, because that's going to save some of these early resources for us. We really care about coal and redstone at this stage of the game, right? Okay, so there's our glass. Let's stop with that for a second and finish enriching our iron to make some steel grit. Alright, so redstone is looking okay here. Don't need to do those one at a time, I guess. I'm eager to get our... Well, we got plenty of carbon for the moment. Okay, in you go. Take advantage of that last... No, we didn't. Wasted another piece of coal. Does this mod have tiny coal in it? I should have been checking for that, to be honest. Okay, I'm not going to tell you about tiny coal since it's not in this mod pack. Tiny coal is a cool thing, though, for sure. Alright, 1 more redstone. And we're going to put 10 of these in. Boom. Start getting some enriched coal, or enriched carbon, I think it's going to call it, probably. Alright, so we've got our steel. Let's finish up the Energized Smelter. Steel casing, we're going to need 2 more of these. You know what? We're going to be doing a decent amount of these. Is that all my osmium? Resources are super low right now, guys. But we are going to see what we can do with what we've got. Pop that in there. And how much iron do I have? We've got this that I've kind of been waiting on. I don't think we're going to be able to wait on it, though. I think I'm going to need it sooner rather than later. Smeltery, are we ready to make you? These guys are done. Okay, good. Clicking around too much, forgetting what I'm doing. Yes? Awesome. And you're going to go right here. That cable that we put in the back there is powering all of these different devices, right? So we're wasting lots of coal powering all this stuff. We're going to need more soon, but that's okay because we're going to very quickly get to something that we want, which is that ore doubling. Okay, so ore doubling, the last thing we're going to need for that equation is called a crusher, if I'm not mistaken, right here. And a crusher is going to be used to make the dusts that then can be doubled and then smelted in the smelter, the Energized Smelter. Man, we've got all kinds of things. This biofuel is made from all kinds of different things in the crusher. Okay, Mechanism machines are loud. They let you know when they're done. I kind of like that, actually. Though they do get annoying later on. There's things to make them quieter. All right, Energized Smelter. I think we're just going to have to start using you wholesale without getting a crusher first. Let's start some more of our steel production here. With the last bit of iron that I have. Is that it? We're going to have to just do all of this. I don't actually want 3 metallurgic infusers, so I can do another one for this next step here. Alright. Let's just keep this moving. We're not going to need all steel. So how much steel we're going to actually need to finish this process? Let's get these out of here. Crusher. Crusher. Alright. So that's osmium. We're not going to need... We're going to need iron for the buckets. We need 2 lava buckets, guys. I went and got this lava bucket last episode, thinking that we were going to use it for the heat generator, but it looks like we're going to end up using it just to make our crusher. Not mad at that. That's worth it. So we're going to need a little more lava. Let's get these cooking before we head out. You know, we just got to get some mining done, guys. Was not planning on doing a lot of mining on camera, but I think we're going to get some more use out of our iron pickaxe here. Wow, it's going to be gone real fast. Let's make ourselves a service pick before we go down. Because I know we have a little bit of service left, and iron is getting real sparse. Where are you, spider? I could definitely use some of whatever you've got. Are you enchanted? These enchanted spiders are, or mobs in general, are interesting. I'm going to have to get used to them, see what kind of things they are enchanted with. Alright, that's in. We can dump a few things here. Don't need any of that. Or this. Let's start dropping our extra heads in here. And we've got a miscellaneous bin for stuff like that over here. Do I have 2 heads? The heads are building up, guys. Not that I'm surprised, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so our enriched iron can start becoming steel. It's not going to be enough, though. Did we only put 3 in there? Let's pop 1 of those in. One more enriched iron, please. Yes. Boom. That's in. Let's go mining. I didn't do the main thing I came up here for, guys. Hopefully you are not watching this for extremely efficient gameplay in which no mistakes are made, because that is not me. Alright. Crafting on a table on a stick. Not osmium. Certus. They're both light blue. My brain wants to equate them sometimes. Alright, we'll destroy the rest of our iron first. Alright, back in a minute. So you can see I've got just kind of a basic strip mine going down here, and we're putting torches on the right. That is my trick I like to do. It's not like I made it up. Everybody does that, but it is extremely efficient and helpful. You never know when you're going to realize you're lost. Ooh, lapis. Is that our first lapis? It might be, actually. So the Certus and the iron picks are not terrible, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting something better. Alright guys, back again. We did a little bit of mining, got a couple more resources. We have a little coal to keep our generator going for a little longer here. And iron continues to be super scarce, and we're going to do something about that now. So finally we're going to get our crusher going. We need a steel casing for that. Alright, if it's not one thing, it's another. Alright, we'll pop that in there. I almost feel like, oh, we have our smelter here, so we can start doing our steel in the smelter. Awesome. Smelter is not any faster, I don't think, than a normal furnace. I don't know, we'd have to time that, but it sure seems like it's about exactly the same speed. But we are going to upgrade these. That's one of the nice things about these machines. any of these can be upgraded to make them faster, more efficient, quieter, various other things, right? So we've got upgrades right here. We'll be able to pop actual upgrades in. And then there's also upgrading where we can just make nicer versions of the machines, these factory versions. Okay, so we'll get into all of that for sure. Let's get our steel ingots, one more, thank you. And can I have a crusher? Yes, not yet. Casing, thank you. Crusher. All right, we got our lava. We're going to need to go get more lava eventually, but that's fine. Okay, I'm going to pop the crusher right on top here, and we're going to start getting into our side configs, because what's going to happen is the crusher is going to take our iron ore, right? Why does the iron ore not want to go in the crusher? Show recipes. Iron ore. Combiner. Oh my gosh, guys. We made the wrong thing. Alright, well, that'll teach me to do a little bit of research before we do this. Okay, let's see what it's going to take to make a combiner. We will need a crusher eventually, but that's not what it's going to take for ore doubling. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Combiner. And we're going to need another casing, I'm sure. What? No. This is too high level. That can't be the basic thing. What am I missing here? That mechanism. Iron ore. What can we do with it from mechanism? We can put it in chemical injection chamber, purification chamber, enrichment chamber. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Maybe this has always been this way and I just forgot, but the enrichment chamber is what's going to make our iron dust for us. Okay. So if you're a Mechanism player, you were probably laughing at me right now. Enjoy. Alright, so we're going to set up our side config though, because this will make something that we want to put in this next machine, right? So we've got our iron dust, 2 of them, nice and doubled, thank you. Pop this in here and it's going to turn it into 2 ingots. But we can very easily, since they're next to each other, have that automatically happening. So some of our first automation here, we're just going to simply play with the side config. All these tabs over here give us different windows to look at. There was the upgrades tab that I showed you there. We've got security tab. If you are on a server, you can do security there. There's transportation. There's our power. We can change the units. Side config is what we want here, though, and it's all color-coded, right? So inputs are red. Outputs are blue, energy is green. It looks like an automated energy, either that it's already expecting energy from the back. Okay, so we want to output to the right. Did it already? Okay, so yeah, we want to output to the right here, and then this one from the left wants to input. Why is that not happening then? Interesting. Is there an auto output we need to turn off? Auto eject, there it is. Okay, so once that is turned on, now these are just going to disappear from here, automatically transport into here. And we've got our ore doubling going. So my measly 8 ore that we got down there is going to turn into 16 ingots that we can use. That's going to be very helpful in our next episode because, as we demonstrated in this one, resources are getting very scarce. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed watching me get confused in Mechanism and maybe learn something in the process. That is it for this episode. It's been great playing with you guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.